Let's continue with the block entity and add custom recipes to Minecraft. Alright, we found this back in Intelligence more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding a custom recipe type to our mod right here. So that basically means that instead of going into our block entity right here, right, the gem polishing station, instead of just hard coding the recipe, we're going to make it so that it can read JSON files and basically, well, make it dynamic so that you can create as many recipes as you want. And in theory, other mods could also add recipes, which is pretty freaking exciting. So for this, first of all, we need to add the recipe, and then we are going to change it in the block entity as well. So for this, we're going to have a recipe package, and here we're going to have the mod recipes class, as well as the gem polishing recipe. Now, we're going to start with the gem polishing recipe, and this will implement the recipe. This is the net Minecraft recipe class of type simple inventory here in this case. We're going to hover over this and implement the methods that we need, and then we will make a couple of things. The first thing is a private final item stack. I'm going to call this the output right here, and we'll also have a private final list of ingredient, and that's going to be the recipe items. Let's import the list class over here from Java util, and then we'll make two public constructors. The first one is going to have a list of ingredients. This is going to be called ingredients, and then the second one is an item stack. This is going to be the item stack, and then this dot output is equal to the item stack, while this dot recipe items is equal to the ingredients right here. And that's actually all we need. We actually only need one constructor here in this case. And then we have a bunch of different methods over here that we need to do certain things with. So let's actually start at the top. Sure, that's fine. So the matches method is quite important. The first thing you want to do, and this is actually extremely important, you want to if world is client and then return a false right here. Otherwise, if you have this mod installed on their server, then it's going to actually crash, which is not what we want. And then the rest of this matches method is very important and critical. So we're going to have two different lists of items. We have the inventory. These are the items, right, that are inside of your GUI or your GUI. In our case, the only thing that really interests us is what is in here, which would be determined by saying inventory.getStack slot 0. Because, right, this slot is slot 0 of this inventory. That's what this means. And now we want to compare what is in this slot to whatever type of ingredient we're getting from our recipe. So that would be the JSON file. As an example, I'm going to show one other JSON files. So for example, this one, we're going to have a list of ingredients right here, and it would be looking at this specific ingredient. And we basically want to check whether or not the recipe item dot get also 0, right? If that is the same as the stack right here, and we can use the test method here from the ingredient to basically check that. So once again, the recipe item get 0 gets you the first item of the JSON file that is in the ingredients list, while inventory.getStack gets you this item that is put in here. This is extremely important. You have to really realize that this works, because if you, for example, want to have a custom entity, a block entity that has like several different inputs and several different inputs in the ingredients, then you need to know what these specific things mean. I've seen a lot of people get confused with this. In this case, the 0 here and the 0 here match, but that does not have to be the case. You could also imagine you have like 3 different slots over here where you have to put in like tools. Then this would be 0, 1, 2. All of a sudden, this would be slot with index 3, and then you would write this, right? So keep in mind that this does not have to match. This is just by happenstance. So keep that in mind. Know what this means. Recipe item is what's read in from the JSON file. Inventory.getStack is what's actually inside of the block entity. And of course, if your block entity is more complex, then you need to change this accordingly. In the craft method, we're just going to return the output. In the fits, we'll just return true. In the get result, we will return the output again. And then we have the get serializer and the get output and the get type, but we also wanted to get the get ingredients over here. That's actually quite important. And here we want to do a quite a weird thing. We want to make a defaulted list of ingredient. We're going to call this the list. This is equal to a defaulted list dot of size. The size is going to be of this dot recipe items dot size. Then we're going to say list dot add all, and we're going to list all of the recipe items, and then we're going to return that list. Now, I'm not quite sure why we need to do this. Well, I know why we need to do this, because of course the recipe items are just stored in a list, while the get ingredients needs a defaulted list. But I don't know why this has changed. This has changed in 120.2. There's a specific change for that. And for some reason, that is just the case. I'm going to show you why basically this has changed in just a second. But first of all, let's get the type over here. That's the first thing. So what I basically usually do is I just make a static class over here. I'm going to call this type, and I'm going to make it implement the recipe type over here of the gem polishing recipe. And then we're going to have a public static final type over here, which is going to be called the instance, which is equal to a new type. And we'll also have a public static final string ID. And this is then the gem underscore polishing. This ID is going to be what's displayed, or what is basically shown as a type inside of the JSON file. And we can basically then just return, this is also instance, there you go. We can then just return type.instance. And there we go. That is fine for the recipe type. The serializer, a little more complicated. So this has changed quite significantly, and that is going to be the following. So we'll have a serializer, which is going to implement the recipe serializer of type gem polishing recipe. All that is fine, but however, now, if we hover over this and implement the methods, you're going to see we need a codec. And I absolutely freaking love codecs, not at all, because they are just so much more complicated, in my opinion, for what you basically need. So this is, I mean, the best way that I have found this to work so far, because I am not a master at codecs in the slightest. For this codec, in theory, once again, as a high-level overview, a codec is basically a way to read in a JSON file and convert that sort of on the fly into a different class, right? Into a class. Now, I have what I need for this, and I'm going to be copying it over. This will be available to you, of course, but this is how it is. So basically, we're going to have a codec, which we're going to return right here. And this codec is, as you can see, we're basically building a codec for a certain gem polishing recipe. We're using the validate amount method. I'm gonna thank Matty Robert for helping me with that a little bit, because codecs, I haven't dealt with him too much, so this is, yeah, a little bit new to me. Basically, we're saying, hey, we want an ingredient over here, and there can be a max of 9 ingredients, right? And the field is called ingredients, so this is going to be this one right here. That's what it's going to read in for the getter in get ingredients, so that it would be this getter right here. And then we have a crafting result, which is called output. That is then set to the output over here, so the output field that we have for our recipe. And then we're going to make a new gem polishing recipe with what we've read in here, basically. It's quite crazy and it's quite insane, but that is how it's going to be. For the read and the write method, those are a little bit more straightforward, because basically these are for synchronizing everything from client and server. Here we're going to have a defaulted list of ingredient again. This is going to be our inputs. So this is a very straightforward thing, right? Once again, a defaulted list of size. The size here is actually going to be read in as an integer from the packet byte buff. And the default is an empty ingredient. Then we're going to have a for loop over here from 0 all the way to inputs.size I++. And for this, what we're going to do is we're basically going to set the input of the specific index I to ingredient.fromPacket, and then just passing in the buffer over here. And then lastly, we can also get the output. That's going to be the item stack, and that's going to be the output here equal to buff.readItemStack. And then we can put all of this together with a new gem polishing recipe, simply passing in output as well as the inputs right here. Actually, the other way around, inputs and then the output, there you go. And that is going to be okay. So this is going to read the recipe, right? So this is, for example, the server says, this is how the recipe looks like, and then it's going to read it. And then you, of course, need to write it, and you need to write it in the same order. So the first buffer we're reading is an integer. That is the size of the list. We first of all need to write an integer, and the integer is going to be recipe.getIngredients.size, right? Because we want to write the size in. Then we want to make a for each loop. This is going to be of ingredients. Ingredient in what? That is going to be recipe.getIngredients right here in this case. And then in the for each loop, we're going to say ingredient.write. And we're going to write that to the buffer over here. And then lastly, we also want to write an item stack. And that item stack is recipe.getResult. And then we can pass in a null over here for the registry manager. That's totally fine. And that way, it's going to write first an integer. When it's going to read an integer, it's going to then write the ingredients. It's going to then read the ingredients here. And then down here, it's going to write an item stack, and here read an item stack. So the read and the write method both match. So we're good to go. In the serializer, I will also make a instance over here. That's going to be a public static final serializer. This is of the Kaupenjoe tutorial mod. Exactly, serializer instance equal to a new serializer. There you go. And we can make a public static final string ID as well. And that is going to be gem_polishing. And there we go. We can then return the instance right here. So this is serializer.instance, and that returns the serializer. And the last thing to do here for the recipe itself is to register it. That is actually fairly straightforward. Because we've created the recipe and the type inside of those classes, we can basically just make a public static void register recipes over here, and then just register those. So this is going to be the registry, making sure once again we choose net Minecraft registry, very important, that register registries.recipes recipe serializer, then a new identifier of tutorial mod.modid. This is going to be the gem polishing recipe.serializer.id. After the first closing parenthesis, that gem polishing recipe.serializer.instance. And then the second line here is going to be registry.register registries.recipe type with a new identifier as well, tutorial mod.modid, and we can once again get the type over here in this case, so gem polishing type recipe.type.id. After the first closing parenthesis, gem polishing recipe.type.instance. And with that, we're done. All of the code, as always, of course, is available to you. And after this, we just want to do mod recipes.recipe, register recipes. There you go. And now the recipe itself is registered. However, we now need to make sure that this works in the block entity, right? Because right now, has recipe just means, hey, inside of our input slot, we have a raw Ruby. That's not quite what we want. We basically want to make sure that we have a recipe. To do that, what we can do in the has recipe method basically is we want to get the recipe. So let's just get rid of all of this and we're going to figure this out. So basically, it's going to be an optional of a recipe entry of gem polishing recipe. This is going to be our recipe. We're going to make this equal to the get current recipe method that does not exist just yet. I just wanted to make that because it's a little bit nicer to make that. And what we can do here in the get current recipe method is we're going to make a simple inventory. This is going to be our inf equal to a new simple inventory of this.size. Then we're going to make a for loop. We're going to basically go through this inventory. Int I is equal to 0, and then I is smaller than this.size, again, I++. And then we're going to do inf.setStack at the index I with this.getStack with I as well. And then we're going to return a crazy thing that is going to be getWorld.getRecipeManager.getFirstMatch of the gem polishing recipe.type.instance with the inventory that we've created, the simple inventory, and then with get world again. Get world again, there you go. That should throw no errors, and we can then basically use this recipe. In the has recipe method, what we can do is we can say if, and then what we can do instead of has input, we want to say recipe.isPresent, because if it's not present, then this is going to return a false, and we're good to go. Can insert into amount. Well, this is going to be our result. Luckily, we can just say recipe.get.value.getResult. It actually already suggests this to us, and we need to pass in the null over here again. That's fine. And then the same thing goes here. This is recipe.get.value.getResult, passing in a null, and then getting the item and passing it in there as well. You can also get the item stack and make that as a variable, but it's not really necessary. And then lastly, in the craft item, well, wait a second, in the craft item, we want to do pretty much the same thing, right? We also want to get the optional. That's actually quite important, so let's do that. So we get the optional, we have the recipe over here now. We still want to remove this. We no longer want to do that. What we want to do is we actually want to set this to, well, not the result, but the item that we have here. So there's going to be recipe.get.value.getResult. Once again, passing a null over here of the item. So we set this to the item. And then instead of getting the count from the result, we can then say recipe.get.value.getResult and then passing in a null over here. This is now going to create exactly what we had before, however, with JSON files. And I have those JSON files prepared already, so that's going to be awesome. So in our resources, we're going to make a data folder over here. And then instead of here, we're going to make a tutorial mod folder or your mod ID, and inside of there we want the recipes folder, and I have two prepared recipes over here. I will show you. So this is going to be the diamond from gem polishing as well as the ruby from gem polishing. So this is going to be similar to what we've had before, just that it's going to give us 3 rubies, so you can also get 3 rubies here, and then here it's going to basically you put in coal and you get a diamond out of it. And you can expand this however much you want, right? You can add your own recipes, You can add crazy, silly recipes, whatever you basically like. You just change, the item over here, the item over here, possibly add a count right here, and that is going to be it. So let's jump into the game and see if it works. Alright, found ourselves back in Minecraft, and let's take a look. First of all, the raw ruby, and we can see it's still crafting. And is it going to give us 3 rubies? Of course it is going to give us 3 rubies. Absolutely fantastic. And the coal is also starting to craft. And of course, this is going to give us our sweet diamond over here. Absolutely freaking fantastic. And that is a custom recipe types for your custom block entity. Awesome. And you can continue with block entities with this video right here, where we'll add REI compatibility to our mod. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.